Hey everyone, welcome to the best US Mint news channel on YouTube. I'm Son of a Silver Stacker. Today's date is the 22nd of October, 2025, and in this video I ask the question, well, is it better to buy from the secondary market than the United States Mint? Also, let's talk about silver. Are we still having a problem with the refineries? Are they backlogged so much that the price is going down now? Or has the backlog just been an excuse for other things going on in the market? Now, before any of that, if you're new here, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to a bazillion subs. It's actually a really big number. You can look it up on the Google machine. It's ginormous. Also, we're always live, never edited, and always unscripted. Never know what I'm not going to say. Now, let's bounce over to moneymetals.com. I can show you those live spot prices. So gold is down 37.50 to 4,140 cents. Silver down 17 cents to 48.81. Platinum up 16.55 to 1583.35, and palladium down 14.65 to 14.23.80, and Dr. Copper over here up 2 pennies to 4.97 per pound. Down here you're looking at an in-stock American Silver Eagle whose premium is $11.49 for a quantity of 1 through 39. They ask that you pay $60.30. Now the buyback, that's the sell-to-them price, is $50.69, and that's definitely above the silver spot at 48.81. Now let's go to the Google machine, and I asked here the Google machine AI action over here. Silver refining backlogs. It says silver refining backlogs are currently 3 to 6 months long, driven by a surge in secondary market silver and high demand from industrial and retail sectors. But yet, if we look at the silver prices, look, all this backlog and all this talk about backlogs at refineries and refineries not accepting any more silver other than 4 nines fine and 3 nines fine. Well, that happened, what, maybe October 8, maybe October 9. Here we are, not even 2 weeks later, and all of a sudden the price is dropping to $48 and change. Now, is the backlog over? Are the refineries opened back up? Well, according to this, it says 3 to 6 months long. People have been told by their coin shops that they won't be buying silver until the first of the new year, or maybe next month in November. But what does that suggest? Not sure what to make of it, folks, here. It says high volume of secondary silver refineries are inundated with old coins, bars, and other secondary market silver, which has surged in recent years. Increased demand, industrial, investor, and retail demand for physical silver has grown significantly, further straining capacity. Financing constraints. Refiners are facing financing limitations with some halting purchases even as prices rise, which disrupts the normal flow of silver through the market. I don't think any of these maybe they have minor effects, but I think something else is going on. Could it be the military-industrial complex? Could it be Saudi Arabia? Could it be China or Russia buying up all that silver? Yeah, the central banks could easily be swallowing up all the silver out there. I mean, and this doesn't even talk about that, but that's what they've been doing. There's been announcements that the Saudis are buying silver, the Chinese are buying silver. They're central banks. So this has nothing to do with any of that. This is refining backlogs, and they don't even mention it here about those countries, those central banks buying up silver. So I'm still not buying it. I don't understand exactly what's happening, but it just does not add up. And when it doesn't add up, it doesn't make sense. Well, something else has to be the reason. Now let's keep on keeping on. Let's talk about the Privy Mark American Silver Eagles. Which one do you think, all right, is probably the most expensive one or the highest valued one? And if you do purchase an American Silver Eagle with a Privy Mark from the United States Mint, are you actually getting the best possible grade? Well, not necessarily, because if we look at the PCGS and some of the population reports for the Army Privy Mark, Navy Privy Mark, and the Laser Privy Mark, well, it is condition rare. And are the prices that we see on the secondary market, well, are they what they should be, or are they lower, or are they higher than what they should be? Now let's keep on keeping on. We're going to go to the next step on this one. We're going to be looking at the Army Privy Mark American Silver Eagle sales on eBay. All right, and I've got here ended recently, sold and completed listings. Look at this. That's best offer accepted for a U.S. Army, and it's got the U.S. Army helicopter there. Yeah, that's the Army Privy 250th. Yeah, less than $399. That's a $400 coin right there. Here's one raw, 205. Here's 220 for raw, 207, 224, 229. There we go for a first strike proof 70 deep cameo, $409 right there. So let's check that out on PCGS, all right? Because first strike, I think there's actually quite a bit of first strike Army privies on PCGS. So let's go here. We got Army, Navy, and Laser. Those are the 3 ones we're going to be looking at this morning, in addition to the Marine Corps one. So we're looking at first strike Where is it? There you go. First day of issue, first strike right here. Yeah, look at that. Out of 2,647 that have been slabbed, not necessarily been graded, but slabbed, 1,169 on a 70 and 1,436 are in a proof 69. But look at the base, 121.70, 470 on the 69. Yeah, that's not great, folks. That's not great at all. And look at the advanced release. Yeah, that's not bad ratio right there. And that's not a bad ratio for first day of issue. But the first strike and the base, forget about it. That is brutal. And so that's really what you're looking at for first strike, and you're looking at the base, ones that doesn't have a special label or anything like that. Look at the CAC holder, and that's a 69 selling for $249. That's pretty incredible, because typically what we see for a 69, well, is about a lot closer. There's a 69 Ultra Cameo, is a lot closer to a raw coin than a, well, look at that even. Same thing there, 265. So it looks like the 69s are going for more, and not that one though. A little bit more than the raw is selling for. 129 there. Is that Army? Yeah, that's Army. Here's Army Privy, 129. Wow. Somebody got a deal on that one, because the coin was $105 when it initially dropped on that Friday the 13th. Here we go. Raw here, 238. And what makes it that one sells for $129 on October 18th, and then just the same day, one sells for $238. What's up with that? That's a question we need an answer to. Let's keep on keeping on. We're going to go over to the Navy Privy Mark coin out of San Francisco, California, and we're going to be looking at some of the sales there. Ended recently, sold listings, and completed listings. So there's a raw one, 224, another raw 215, 234 there, 235, and so on and so on with the 230s. Not bad for a $105 coin. Typically, you're not seeing silver products double in value, but the Privy Mark American Silver Eagles have definitely doubled in value this year. And some of them, yeah, look at that, almost 4 times what you paid for it there, 425 for a first strike. And that is the Navy Privy. And let's check that out real quick. Actually, I got to collapse that one first. Bye-bye. And then let's go to the Navy Privy here. Look at this. All right, out of 1,920 that have been slabbed, 1,378 are in a 70 and 542 are in a 69. But look at this. Yeah, that just the base, 80 out of 80 slabbed are in a 69. Not one of them is in a 70. So if it was me, I'm already looking at this going, yeah, I'd probably buy off the interwebs, the secondary market, than I would from the United States Mint if I wanted a 70. Now, if I didn't care if it was a 69 or 70, yeah, I'd probably buy from the United States Mint, but not necessarily. Would you be happy with that, right? Let's look at this. That's advanced release, but here we go. This is the first strike down here out of 686 slabbed. 253 are in a 70, and 433 are in a 69. These are all condition rarity this year, folks. The Army, the Navy, and then finally, let's keep on keeping on. I think we're going to be looking at the laser engraved American Silver Eagle, and this one has completely got me stumped this year. You know, this one's almost selling for the retail price that the Mint had sold it for. You wouldn't even believe it. Well, maybe you will. Maybe you're selling these online and you're like, yeah, I can't move it. Nobody wants it. I had to lower the price. Not sure why, but because it is also condition rarity. We'll show you that here in a second. But I've got ended recently, sold listings, completed listings for the West Point American Silver Eagle Laser Privy. Look at that. Somebody spent some good money to have that graded, and they're selling it for $129 with $5 delivery. Look at that. Even more profound, there's a CAC holder for $103.55, and that had 23 bids. Folks, that's less than they paid for it retail from the United States Mint. That's unreal. And look at this. This is a Proof 70 Deep Cameo from CAC, $220. That's what the Army sells for raw. Why? Why the disparity between the Army Privy, the Navy Privy, and the laser engraved Privy? Why don't people think that? And I please answer that in the comments below. Need to find out what it is about the American Silver Eagle with the laser Privy that makes it undesirable, or at least not as desirable, and not double in price than the Army or the Navy Privy. Not sure what's going on there. 134 there, 135 there, 309. That's actually probably the highest we've seen on any of these so far. That is remarkable. And that was October 21st, just yesterday. 283.50 there, 309 there. That's a first strike. And let's go ahead and check out. Did I check out the laser Privy yet? I don't think I did. Let's show you what's going on there. So out of 181 of the base, 52 of them are in a 70, 114. Yeah. So it's almost, a third more that are in a 69, maybe more. That's remarkable. And look at this. With this, the first strike action right here out of 2,177 that have been slabbed, only 873 are in a 70 and 1,200 are in a 69, 39 in a 68. That's remarkable. And then 3 in a 67. And do you expect from the United States Mint all 70 grades? I mean, with the technology that they have today, wouldn't you expect that all the coins that we buy from the United States Mint are going to be absolutely perfect? Well, we're not seeing that at all. And I've asked the question, is it the personnel? Is it the planchets? Is it the processing, production? Not sure what's going on there, but we are definitely not seeing the best quality coins struck from the United States Mint this year. And it gets actually worse. Check this out. This is a Silver Eagle from San Francisco, California. And look at that. Out of the base, out of 120 that have been slabbed, 18 of those bad boys are in a 70, and 102 are in a 69. That's remarkable. So we have advanced release here. We have a first strike here. So the first strike looks pretty good. That's a decent ratio. I'm not upset about that at all. So your chances on getting that one on a first strike, it looks like, are pretty decent. And yeah, look at this, 386. That's the first day of issue right there. 386 slabbed. 381 of those are in a 70 and 5. Just a mere 5 is a 69. So clearly, if we're going to be comparing and contrasting here, the Silver Eagle out of San Francisco, California, the last one that we know about for the foreseeable future, is grading fairly well compared to all of the laser privy marked American Silver Eagles. That's something to talk about, folks. Now, let's talk about this one here. This is the Marine Corps one, and it drops in about 2.5 weeks on November 10, 2025, and it has the same price, $105. And it is selling for good money, more than the laser privy American Silver Eagle. And if you have all three of them, like this person, well, look at that. You've got $700 for, what is that, about $230 each? $209 there, that's more than double, right? $479, that's got an awesome label there with the Iwo Jima War Memorial looking, and the signature there. $205 there. 13 of them for $3,600 just sold on September 16th. Do I have it under ended recently? Yeah, I did. Okay. Not sure why oh, it's results matching fewer words. That's probably why. Yeah, Silver Eagle Marine Privy, $479. 205, 3,600, 439 there, and that is the Marine Corps right there. So would you end up spending $400 or $500 for a coin? And any of these privy marked American Silver Eagles, excluding the laser privy, are about $400 and some odd dollars for a perfect coin, proof 70. Look at the 69 there for $227.38. That sold October 21. That was just yesterday. There's one of them, $229. And yeah, that's what we're seeing. So raw and graded 69 are typically the same price. That's what we see. But there was that other one that I showed you just a minute or two ago that was a little separate, a little higher than the raw. 224 there, 427, 199. And that is the Army. That doesn't count. There's a Marine, 439 there. U.S. Army not counting. 209 there. I think we're losing the Marine Corps ones because there just aren't that many right now. But that's looking pretty expensive. More expensive anyway than the laser privy. That's remarkable, folks. And hopefully we'll get those Marine Corps population reports soon from PCGS. Now let's go to the +1 action. This is pretty good. I've done this one before. And it's steps in the acquisition of wisdom. Yeah, wisdom. You know, there's intelligence and wisdom. They are different ballparks in the same city. No doubt about it. When we seek wisdom and knowledge, the first step is silence. The second is listening. The third is remembering. The fourth, practicing. And the fifth is teaching others. And if you actually can get to the fifth step in teaching others, well, you should give yourself a pat on the back. I know we shouldn't exalt ourselves, but really, that is really quite difficult. No doubt about it. Now let's jump over to 39's Fine, 99.9 KOI and Coin News Radio. This is Def Leppard with Photograph off their Pyromania album. Good stuff there. Listened to that a lot when I was a kid. One of my favorite albums ever. Now, with that said, I want to thank you all for coming. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you do like what you're going to see, sub the channel. It's absolutely free. What's not free is membership. It's $1.99 per month. It's the price of a cheap cup of coffee. And it works out to about, 6.6 cents per video. Yeah, in a 30-day calendar month. So hopefully you'll be able to take care of Stacker over here, becoming a member, because it helps these videos keep coming out each and every single morning. Sure does. Now, I want to thank everybody for being here. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Is it already Wednesday? Can you believe it? Wow. Y'all have a fantastic middle of the week. Stacker out.